one of the other things you can do is you can go back and watch what they did when they lied in real time. So here is a panel of CNN, this is yesterday, finally admitting that COVID deaths and hospitalizations were overcounted. Now, the guest that they are going to have on, there's 3 hosts. The guest is Leana Wen. Leana Wu. You guys remember Leana Wu. She was one of the biggest COVID fearmongers for mandates, locking people in their houses and all of that stuff, okay? Yet she's the guest now as they talk about how COVID hospitalizations were overcounted. The woman should be fired and shamed and never seen in public again. Well, just watch what we're going to do to her here. First, watch the part from yesterday.
Doctor, these are 2 separate things here, overcounting deaths and overcounting hospitalizations. As you know, I covered this closely being in the Trump White House when this happened. I talked to a lot of health officials about this who are actually kind of skeptical of this claim that you're making. And I think one big thing has been, what is the evidence that these COVID deaths are actually being overcounted?
Well, this is the reason why this kind of transparent reporting is going to be so important. There is a way for us to look at death certificates and also to look at the medical records of individuals prior to their death. And I think this needs to be separated into 3 categories. One is the COVID as a direct contributor, the primary cause of death. The second is, could it be a secondary contributing cause? So, for example, somebody with kidney disease, COVID then pushes them over the edge to have kidney failure. That's COVID as a contributing cause. And then the third is COVID as an incidental finding. So somebody coming in with a gunshot wound or a heart attack and they happen to test positive. I think that we need to separate out and look at the percentages of each. That percentage would have shifted over time as well. In the beginning, probably a lot more people were dying with the primary cause of COVID. That probably has shifted. And I think, again, we need to understand this. Another reason to understand this, too, is a lot of people are wondering when they should get a booster next. When do we need a second booster or another booster? And the only way we can know for sure is to understand who is getting severely ill and when.
Connor just made a great point that, you know, back in the day at the height of COVID, CNN used to have their COVID death ticker. It's funny they don't have their death ticker on anymore, as it's becoming obvious that COVID was largely a hoax and now people are dying of vaccine-related injuries.